All right, ready to dive into supplement science.
Let's do it.
I know what you're thinking. Ugh, another supplement episode. But this is going to be different.
Yeah, we're going way deeper than those flashy labels and claims you see everywhere.
We're going to cut through all the noise.
Exactly. We're going to give you the tools to become a real supplement sleuth.
And trust me, you need those tools.
Oh yeah, the supplement aisle can be overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
So much jargon.
It really is how do you even know where to start?
Well, that's where understanding scientific studies comes in.
So we can finally tell what actually works.
That's the goal.
I like it. It's like a secret decoder ring for supplement research.
Ooh, I like that analogy. Once you have the key, you can decode anything.
Okay, so let's start with the gold standard. Randomized controlled trials.
Or RCTs for short.
Yeah, RCTs. Those are the top tiers, right?
Absolutely. Think of them like the Supreme Court of supplement research.
Oh, okay. So break it down for me. What makes them so special?
Well, it all comes down to randomization, which helps to minimize bias.
Minimize bias. How so?
Researchers randomly assign participants to different groups, making sure each group is pretty similar.
Okay, so it's like shuffling a deck of cards.
Yeah, exactly. It makes everything fair.
So it's not just random people getting whatever
But
supplement.
no, it's carefully planned out. Let's say we're testing a new sleep supplement.
Okay, I'm following.
Some people would get the actual supplement and others would get a placebo.
Ah, a placebo. That's like a fake pill, right?
Yep, basically a sugar pill.
So like a control group.
Exactly. The control group helps researchers isolate the true effects.
Oh, I see. So you can see if it's the supplement or just random chance.
Right. It helps to eliminate those other factors that could skew the results.
Smart. But even with RCTs, there must be some limitations, right?
Of course, no study is perfect. RCTs can be expensive and take a long time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Plus, the results might not apply to everyone. The study participants might not be representative.
Oh, right. Like if they only tested on young, healthy people.
Exactly. The results might not hold true for older folks or those with health conditions.
So RCTs are great, but we can't just blindly trust them.
We got to be critical thinkers. But they are an important piece of the puzzle.
Okay, that's the gold standard. What's next on the hierarchy of evidence?
Well, next up we have systematic reviews and meta-analyses.
Those sound even more complex.
They can be, but think of a systematic review like a detective gathering clues.
Okay, I like where this is going.
They gather all the evidence from multiple RCTs on a specific topic.
So instead of one study, they look at a bunch of studies.
Exactly. It's like having a panel of judges instead of just one.
Makes sense. And what about a meta-analysis? How's that different?
A meta-analysis takes things a step further by statistically combining the data.
From all those studies?
Yep, it creates a much bigger sample size and gives a clearer picture.
Oh, so it's like a super-powered magnifying glass.
I like it. It helps to weed out any flukes or inconsistencies from individual studies.
That's super helpful. So we're getting a more reliable picture, right?
Exactly. But remember, a systematic review or meta-analysis is only as good as the studies it includes.
So garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. We still need to be critical of the quality of those individual studies.
Got it. Quality over quantity. Now, what about those studies that follow people over time?
Those are called cohort studies. They're like time travel investigations.
Ooh, sounds interesting.
They follow a group of people over a long period and observe how their supplement use affects their health.
So tracking who gets certain diseases or health conditions down the line.
Yep, exactly. And we can see if there's a connection to their supplement use.
But couldn't other things affect that too, besides just the supplements?
Absolutely. That's the tricky part. Cohort studies are observational, not experimental.
So we can see correlations, but not necessarily causation.
Precisely. Maybe people who take a certain supplement also have healthier lifestyle.
Right, like maybe they exercise more or eat better.
Exactly. So it's hard to say for sure if it's the supplement or something else.
Makes sense. It's all connected.
It is. But even though cohort studies can't prove cause and effect, they can give us valuable clues.
Like potential long-term benefits or risks.
Right. And they can prompt further research.
Interesting. So cohort studies are another piece of the puzzle.
They are. Now, how about those studies that feel like taking a snapshot of a group of people?
Oh, yeah, those are cross-sectional studies, right?
You got it. They look at supplement use and health outcomes at a specific point in time.
So asking people right now about their supplement habits and how they're feeling.
Exactly. It's like taking a snapshot of their current health and supplement use.
Okay, so what are the pros and cons of those?
Well, they can highlight interesting trends and associations, but they have limitations too.
Limitations. You don't say. Is this where correlation versus causation pops up again?
Bingo. Let's say a study finds that people who take vitamin C get fewer colds.
Okay, seems logical.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that vitamin C prevents colds. Maybe those people are just more health conscious overall.
Right, so they might do other things to stay healthy too.
Exactly. It's like saying people who carry umbrellas are less likely to get wet in the rain.
Ah, yeah, good point.
So cross-sectional studies can spark ideas, but we can't jump to conclusions.
They are a piece of the puzzle though, right?
They are, but just one piece. We'll need to look at other studies for the full picture.
Got it. So we've got RCTs, systematic reviews, cohort studies, and cross-sectional studies. What's next?
Let's talk about case control studies. These are a bit different.
Oh, how so?
Well, they start with people who already have a specific health outcome.
Like they already have a certain disease.
Exactly. And then they compare them to a similar group of people who don't have that outcome.
Interesting. So if we were studying gut health, we'd find a group with good digestion and a group with digestive issues.
Yep, and then we'd compare their past probiotic use, for example.
Oh, that makes sense.
This approach is especially useful for studying rare conditions.
I see, because it might be hard to do an RCT with a very small group of people.
Exactly. But there's a catch. Case control studies often rely on people's memories.
Oh, memories can be unreliable.
Right. People might not remember exactly what supplements they took or how much.
Yeah, I can barely remember what I had for breakfast this morning.
Exactly. So there's a potential for bias.
Got it. So case control studies are interesting, but we got to take them with a grain of salt.
Exactly. They can raise good questions, but we need more evidence to prove cause and effect.
Okay, so that's another piece of the puzzle. Now, what about all those studies with, like, mice and rats?
Ah, yes. Animal studies. These are often used in the early stages of research.
So they're like a sneak peek into potential benefits or risks before we test on humans.
Exactly. You can see how a supplement affects animals before moving to human trials.
Makes sense. It's like a preliminary screening.
Exactly. But remember, what works in mice doesn't always translate to humans.
Right, we're not just giant mice.
We have a lot of similarities, but our biology is different.
So animal studies are valuable, but we need to be cautious about interpreting the results.
Absolutely. They're just one piece of the puzzle. Now, what about those studies that just observe people?
Like, they just watch and see what happens.
Yep, those are observational studies. They collect data on supplement use and health outcomes.
But they don't actually, like, give anyone supplements or tell them what to do.
Right, they just observe what people are already doing in the real world.
Okay, so what are the pros and cons there?
Well, observational studies can provide valuable real-world data, but they have limitations too.
Let me guess. Correlation versus causation strikes again.
You got it. We might see that people who take a certain supplement are healthier.
But it might be because of their lifestyle, not just the supplement.
Exactly. It's hard to isolate the effects of the supplement from all those other factors.
So observational studies are interesting, but we got to be careful about jumping to conclusions.
Precisely. We always need to consider the bigger picture.
Okay, last but not least, what about those studies that happen before human trials even begin?
Ah, those are preclinical studies. This is where the lab coats come in.
So it's like the behind-the-scenes work.
Exactly. Scientists explore the mechanisms behind a supplement's actions.
So they're figuring out how it works on a molecular level.
Yep, that's preclinical research.
Okay, so that's crucial, right?
It is. It helps us understand the why and how, but it's very preliminary.
So we can't just take those findings and assume they apply to humans.
Exactly. We need further research to confirm those findings in real people.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground. I feel like I'm starting to understand all these different study types.
It's like we've assembled our very own supplement science decoder ring.
I like it. And now that we have this decoder ring, we can actually start to apply it, right?
Oh, that's right. In part 2, we're going to take all this knowledge and use it to decode real-world claims.
I can't wait to put this decoder ring to the test.
It's going to be fun. Stay tuned.
We'll be right back after a quick break. Welcome back, supplement sleuths. Ready to put those decoder rings to work?
Let's decode some real-world supplement claims.
Because let's be real, it's like a jungle out there.
So many products, so many promises.
It's overwhelming, you know?
Yeah.
Everywhere you turn, there's another miracle supplement.
Yeah, and everyone seems to have an opinion.
It's hard to know what to believe,
Exactly. That's why we need to engage our critical thinking skills.
so they don't fall for the hype.
Right. Don't just take things at face value. Ask questions, dig deeper, look for evidence.
Like a true detective.
Exactly. So imagine you're scrolling through social media, right?
I'm picturing it.
And you see this ad for a brain-boosting supplement, promising to sharpen focus and unlock your inner genius.
Sounds pretty tempting.
Right. But before you rush to buy it, ask yourself, What kind of evidence supports these claims?
Okay, that's where our decoder ring comes in handy.
Exactly. Look for those gold standard RCTs we talked about.
Or at least a comprehensive systematic review.
Yes. If the ad only mentions anecdotes or testimonials, that's a red flag.
Yeah, those can be so misleading.
They really can. It's like those weight loss ads with the dramatic before and after photos.
You know, the ones where the person looks totally different.
Exactly. There's no way to know if those results are real or just clever editing.
Or if they made other changes like diet or exercise.
Right. Context is everything. So if a product claims to be clinically proven,
I'm digging deeper.
yes, find out what kind of clinical studies they're talking about.
Don't be afraid to be a bit skeptical,
A healthy dose of skepticism is always a good thing.
especially when it comes to our health.
Absolutely. A reputable company should be transparent about their research.
They should be able to back up their claims with real evidence.
Exactly. Now, this critical eye is even more important when a supplement claims to have like 1 million benefits.
Okay, yeah, those always make me suspicious.
If a supplement promises to boost energy, improve sleep, reduce stress, and cure your bad breath.
It's too good to be true, right?
Right. Be realistic about what supplements can and can't do.
They can't replace a healthy lifestyle.
Exactly. A balanced diet, exercise, stress management, sleep, those are the foundation.
Supplements are like the supporting cast, not the lead actors.
I like that analogy. They can enhance what's already there, but they can't do everything.
So even if a supplement is backed by research, it doesn't mean it's right for everyone, right?
But absolutely, we're all different.
Different genetics, different lifestyles, different needs.
Exactly. What works for one person might not work for another.
It's like medication. You wouldn't
Right.
take a random pill just because it worked for your friend.
Exactly. And speaking of medication, we need to be aware of potential interactions.
Oh, right. Supplements can interact with medications.
They can. Some supplements might enhance or inhibit the effects of certain drugs.
That could be dangerous,
It could. Always talk to your doctor or pharmacist before starting a new supplement.
especially if you're already taking medications.
They can help you identify any potential red flags.
Safety first. Better to be safe than sorry.
Absolutely. Now, let's switch gears and talk about bioavailability.
Bioavailability. That sounds like a science word.
It is. It refers to how well your body can absorb and use a nutrient from a supplement.
So it's not just about how much is in the pill, but how much actually gets into your system.
Exactly. And bioavailability can vary depending on lots of things.
Like what?
The form of the nutrient, other ingredients in the supplement, even individual differences in gut health.
Wow, so a high dose doesn't always mean better absorption.
Right. You got to look for those details about bioavailability.
So I should pay attention to more than just the big numbers on the label.
Exactly. Look for mentions of bioavailability or absorption-enhancing ingredients.
Okay, that's helpful. Anything else we should consider?
Well, we briefly mentioned interactions between supplements and medications.
Right, but you said supplements can also interact with each other.
They can. Some might enhance each other's effects, while others might compete or counteract each other.
So taking certain supplements together could actually make them less effective.
Or even cause side effects.
Wow, okay. This is getting complicated.
It can be. That's why it's so important to talk to a healthcare professional.
It can help us figure out what's right for us.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to supplementation.
It's about finding what works for you individually.
Precisely. And speaking of personalized approaches, have you heard of nutrigenomics?
What?
Nutrigenomics. It's the study of how our genes influence our responses to nutrients.
Wait, so our genes affect how we absorb and use supplements?
It do. It's a fascinating field of research.
So like one day we could have personalized supplement plans based on our DNA.
It's possible. It's still early days, but nutrigenomics holds a lot of promise.
That's amazing. This is blowing my mind.
It's exciting stuff. But remember, science is always evolving.
What we know today might change tomorrow.
Exactly. We need to stay curious and open-minded.
I'm ready for part 3. What other secrets are you going to reveal?
Oh, we've got more to uncover. Stay tuned.
And we're back for the final part of our supplement science deep dive.
Ready to uncover some more secrets.
Absolutely. I'm feeling like a real supplement sleuth now.
That's what we like to hear. We've learned about all sorts of studies.
Yeah, and how to decode all those marketing claims.
We've built up our critical thinking muscles.
But I have a feeling you've saved some juicy insights for this last part.
And I might have a few more tricks up my sleeve.
Okay, lay 'em on me. What haven't we covered yet?
Well, let's start by tackling a common misconception about supplements.
Ooh, I love busting myths.
People often think that if a little of a supplement is good, then more must be better.
Oh yeah, I've totally thought that.
It's tempting to think if one scoop is good, 2 scoops must be amazing.
But it doesn't always work that way, does it?
Nope, not always. Sometimes taking more than the recommended dose can actually be harmful.
Seriously. I had no idea.
It's important to follow the dosage instructions on the label.
And talk to your doctor. Hey.
Absolutely, especially if you have any health conditions or are taking medications.
So it's not just about wasting money, it could be risky too.
Right, it's all about finding that sweet spot, that Goldilocks zone.
Not too much, not too little, just right.
Exactly. Now, speaking of balance, let's zoom out and consider the whole picture.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Well, supplements are just one piece of the health puzzle, right?
We can't just rely on supplements alone,
Nope, they can't replace a healthy foundation.
like a good diet and exercise.
Right, and things like stress management and sleep.
It's like building a house.
Yeah,
You need a strong foundation before adding the fancy stuff.
love that analogy. Supplements are like those finishing touches.
They can enhance what's already there, but they can't fix everything.
Exactly. So we need a holistic approach to health.
One that addresses all aspects of our well-being.
Precisely. And this ties into the importance of individual variation.
Okay, remind me what that means again?
It just means we're all different with unique needs and responses.
Right, what works for your friend might not work for you.
Exactly. It's like with clothes, we don't all wear the same size or style.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So we need to find what works best for our own bodies,
And that might take some experimentation.
paying attention to how we feel and adjusting as needed.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask for guidance from a healthcare professional.
They can help us make sense of all this stuff.
Absolutely. They can help us personalize our approach to supplements.
It's like having a health stylist.
I like that. Someone who helps you create the perfect supplement wardrobe.
Okay, so we've got personalized approaches, holistic health, individual variation. What else?
Well, let's touch on something crucial. Choosing trustworthy sources of information.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
There's so much info out there, it's hard to know who to believe.
It's a minefield. So
Mm.
where should we be getting our info from?
Stick to credible sources like scientific journals, reputable health organizations, and qualified professionals.
So basically, avoid random social media influencers and shady websites.
That's a good rule of thumb. Be wary of those sensational headlines and miracle cures.
If it sounds too good to be true.
It probably
Okay, so critical thinking is key.
always. And remember, science is constantly changing.
So we need to stay open-minded and keep learning.
Exactly. That's the beauty of science. It's always evolving.
Well, this deep dive has been incredible. I feel like I've learned so much.
I'm glad to hear it. It's all about empowering yourself with knowledge.
So you can make informed decisions about your health.
That's the goal. We want you to feel confident navigating the world of supplements.
We've learned so much about study types, how to decode claims, and the importance of personalized approaches.
It's been a fun journey. And remember, your health is a lifelong adventure.
It's not about reaching a destination. It's about enjoying the process.
Exactly. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and keep asking questions.
And most importantly, keep diving deep into the fascinating world of supplement science. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and until next time, stay curious.